Okay, let's unpack this. Today we're taking a deep dive into Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It's a book that really has, well, genuinely reshaped how millions think about money. Our mission here is to pull out those core, maybe counterintuitive insights about how the wealthy actually approach their finances. And then, crucially, look at how you can start applying these ideas yourself, especially if you're aiming for something beyond, standard paycheck.
Yeah, and this book, it's more than just financial tips, isn't it? It sort of forces a complete shift in your perspective. What's really revolutionary, I think, is how it challenges that conventional wisdom right from page one. Makes it super impactful if you're looking for real financial clarity, financial independence even.
It definitely grabs you immediately. The whole thing is built around Kiyosaki's two dads. You've got his poor dad, that's his biological father, who, followed the traditional route, highly educated, secure government job, believed in studying hard, getting that safe job.
The standard advice, basically.
Exactly. Then there's the rich dad, his best friend's father, high school dropout, interestingly, who built wealth through businesses and smart investments. But it's not just about who ended up with more money. The really fascinating part, the core of the book, is how differently their minds worked when it came to finance.
Right. And that's the critical takeaway, isn't it? That fundamental shift in thinking. The rich dad's whole philosophy, it wasn't really about which job to get. It was about how you think about money itself. Moving away from just, trading time for cash towards a more strategic, long-term view of actually building wealth.
Okay, so if they're not just trading time for money, what's the first sort of actionable thing Kiyosaki pushes? The first big lesson?
Well, that shift in thinking leads straight into probably the most famous lesson. The rich don't work for money. Simple idea, but deep. Instead, the goal is to get your money working for you. How? By building assets. Things that generate passive income. That's money flowing into your pocket, even when you're sleeping or on vacation, not directly tied to your active hours.
And this is where he drops that kind of bombshell, right? Redefining what most of us think an asset is. Can you break that down? Because it's definitely not what I learned growing up.
Absolutely. And this is like the real heart of the book. Getting clear on assets versus liabilities. An asset, simply put, puts money in your pocket. Think rental properties bringing in rent, stocks paying dividends, maybe profits from a business you own. A liability, though, takes money out of your pocket. So loans, car payments, credit card debt, but also, and this is the controversial bit, often your primary home.
Your house. How's that a liability? Everyone says it's your biggest asset.
Well, culturally, yes. But Kiyosaki argues it functions as a liability because of all the money flowing out: mortgage, property taxes, insurance, maintenance, repairs. It doesn't put cash in your pocket month to month, it takes it out. If we connect this to the bigger picture, the rich focus relentlessly on acquiring income-producing assets, whereas many others acquire liabilities, often thinking they're assets like maybe that fancy car or even the big house.
Okay, that makes sense. But figuring out what's a real asset often needs a certain kind of knowledge, financial education, which, let's be honest, schools don't really teach, do they? We get algebra, history, but almost nothing practical about managing money, investing. Rich Dad apparently taught Robert how to read financial statements, understand deals, think like an entrepreneur. It just highlights this huge need for financial literacy, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. And this raises a key point, maybe a question for you listening. What are you doing to actively mind your own business? Even with a good job, Kiyosaki stresses building your own financial future on the side. That means maybe starting a side hustle, looking into income-generating real estate, investing in assets, creating those multiple streams of income. It's about not being solely reliant on your employer, basically designing your own little economy.
That idea, building your own economy, it flows right into the next big lesson, I think. Work to learn, not just to earn. It's that contrast again. Poor Dad valued job security above all. Rich Dad, he pushed learning valuable skills. Kiyosaki really stresses taking jobs, maybe early on, not just for the paycheck, but for what they teach you. Skills like sales, marketing, investing, communication, managing people.
Yeah, skills that actually help you build wealth no matter what the economy is doing. They increase your financial intelligence, your financial IQ.
So tying this all together, what does it mean for you, the listener? I think these lessons, they really offer a shortcut to a totally different way of looking at money and wealth. An empowering one.
Definitely. And it's important to remember, Rich Dad, Poor Dad isn't some get-rich-quick scheme. Not at all. It's really about that profound shift in mindset. Moving from thinking like an employee to thinking like an investor. From being just a consumer to being a builder of assets. And look, whether you're just starting out or maybe you're well into your career, it's never too late to get financially smarter.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So maybe the first step is just start today.
Yeah.
Track your expenses, see where the money goes, then begin thinking about building assets, and maybe small at first. Actively learn about investing.